What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new video. I hope you're all good. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some battles I did featuring Shiny Kingler in the Love Cup.
Oh yeah.
So the IVs on this Kingler are 11, 10, 14. It's a rank 771. Not amazing, but it's shiny, so what the hell. It's got the legacy fast move of Mudshot, which I did spend an elite TM on. Charge moves are Crab Hammer and X Scissor. So we're going to be pairing this up with Ariados in the lead, which I've never used before. The IVs on this one aren't the best either. It's 11, 14, 14, so rank 750. And we're running the standard moveset of Poison Sting, Cross Poison and Lunge. And then finally we're going to have the thick boy XL Lickitung. IVs are 11, 12, 15, rank 153, Lick, Body Slam and Power Whip as the moveset. Right, so let's get into the battles. So we're going to be using Kingler mainly as a swap or a closer. We're going to interchange the Kingler and the Lickitung as the swap, depending on what we lead. So in this case, we did lead a Slowbro, so that's not very good for Ariados, as they're doing super effective damage with the confusions. Now, we could have done super effective back to them, but we decided to make the swap out into Kingler, and they are staying here. So we go for super effective X Scissors. As you can see, it's very, very spammy, and we get to them very quickly. They are doing a lot of damage to us with confusions, though, but we do think we can get to a third X Scissor. We've already got one shield out of them and got them into the yellow. So now we would see if they want to give up that last shield, or do they want to just let us have the switch advantage. Let's see what they do. So they do shield it up, so that's fine. We're now going to come in with the Lickitung and look to farm them down the whole way with the licks. So we chose to come in with the Kingler there, just because it was more of a soft answer to the Slowbro, whereas Lickitung was probably more of a direct counter. That way, just in case they swapped out, we still had the Lickitung in the back for the Slowbro, but they actually chose to stay in. So that way, we've managed to get an energy advantage on the Lickitung. They threw a nice beam, and we decided to shield it up as we wanted to keep the Lickitung in good health. So now we're going to throw a Body Slam against the Ariados, and they're no doubt going to go for a lunge and debuff our attack. Hopefully we can get to another Body Slam before they get to another lunge, which it looks like we're gonna. But in fact, we actually try and catch the lunge on our own Ariados, and they actually held off on their energy, and then they made a swap into Crustal, and then like a complete and utter scrub, we go for a Cross Poison, which is resisted. I don't know why went for the Cross Poison there. That must have been a misclick. I can't actually remember what I was thinking. So now we go for the right move, which is the lunge, and it gets them into the yellow, but then now they're going to throw the energy, which is really good. I'm glad that they did that. So now we're going to be hanging on with the Lickitung, and really we need to lick them down, because we're going to need 2 Body Slams to take out the Ariados. And at this point, I put my phone on the side and was sure that I was going to be taken out, but the Rock Blast didn't KO. That's why I didn't lick down there. And now we've actually got 2 Body Slams to go. They don't sneak through a Poison Sting, so this is going to be putting them down into the red, and now we've got another Body Slam to go. So how the hell have we won this? Made a complete bone play with the Cross Poison, and then I actually gave up, but I still managed to win. So it just shows you should never count your chickens on this game. So that was a good win there, even though I don't know why we threw that Cross Poison. That was pretty shameful. So we now got a Lola Mola on the lead for the Ariados. So this is a pretty decent matchup, though they will be able to hit us with a Psychic, which will be super effective, but it does take ages for them to get up to the waterfalls. So we're just going to try and go to town with the lunges here and get them seriously debuffed. So we're going to commit our first shield here to the Psychic, as it still will probably be taking us out, even though we've debuffed them and they're not getting stabbed from it, as they're just a pure water type. So we go for another lunge, getting them into the yellow, and we should be able to outpace them to another one. Could have just gone for a Cross Poison here, because I think they may actually shield this up, but it would be risky to go for the Cross Poison. They do shield it up anyway, and now we're going to try and catch the Psychic on the Lickitung, which they do throw the Psychic. So this will be heavily debuffed, and against a very tanky Pokemon, so it does barely any damage at all, and we've got the Magcargo to come out, so this isn't too bad for us. They will be able to debuff our attack with the Rock Tombs, which I think they do. Yeah, they do throw a Rock Tomb, but we can just go for these Power Whips, which are neutral, as they are part Rock typing. So it does an okay amount of damage, but where they debuffed us, it's not quite doing the amount that we'd need. Going to build up to another potential Power Whip, and they do throw their energy, and no doubt this will be taking us out before we can get the energy off, so that's not great for us. Now we come in with Kingler, really hopeful we can farm them all the way down with Mudshots, and we're just able to do it before they get through their last Incinerate. In comes a Lola Mola, so we're going to go for an X Scissor here, which I think will just be enough to take them out. We actually undercharge it a little bit, which is really interesting, and they realised that we did that, so now they swap into a Galarian Slowbro. So we're going to go straight for an X Scissor here, which I think is actually neutral damage, and they shield it up, so that's really good for us. So we go for another one. We know we're going to need 2 moves to take them out, whatever happens, but the X Scissor probably isn't going to be quite enough, so we're going to have to build up to a Crab Hammer, and this is definitely going to be taking out the Slowbro, as Crab Hammer hits hard, and so does Kingler. So down goes the Slowbro, in comes the Lola Mola. We're not just able to Mudshot them down, but we come back in with the Ariados, don't even bother hitting the Cross Poison, as we know they're energy dry. So that was a really great win there, and the Kingler coming in absolutely clutch, spamming off at the end, and that was good to see. So into the next one, really bad lead. It's a Macargo for the Ariados, and it's actually a rock throwing Macargo as well. So we make the swap out into the Lickitung there, as we want to keep that Kingler in the back for the Macargo if they swap out, which they did. They took a wild swap out, which means that we've actually got an energy lead against this Ariados, and when we threw the first body slam, they did shield it up before they could actually debuff us with the lunges. So we've got a bit of a shield advantage, which we will probably try and maintain, as there's no point us shielding us up now, shielding up the Lickitung, because they're definitely going to outspam us, and they're going to be debuffing our attack as well, so it's not going to be really worth us using a shield. So they go for the cross poison now, because they realise they don't actually have to build up to a lunge, because they've done enough debuffing to us that a body slam is not going to threaten them, as you can see there, and it just takes too long for us to get up to the moves to be able to really threaten them. So they go for another cross poison, taking us out, and now I imagine we're probably going to come in with the Kingler and look to farm them down with the neutral mud shots. Unfortunately, they get to a move which is really, really bleak. We're going to have to shield this up because Kingler is so glassy. Even a cross poison will be doing probably about half health. Luckily, it was a cross poison. They didn't actually go for a lunge, so now we're not debuffed and we don't have to worry about swapping out. They do come in with their own Lickitung, so we're going to go straight for a crab hammer, hoping that we can get the boost, but we do not. I've not actually got the boost the entirety I played with this. I think there's a boost anyway. That's what someone told me. I don't know for sure. So they go for a body slam, which we shield up once again, and now our only hope really is to go for the bait. Really hoping they shield this up, as we're one away from the crab hammer here, which will be taking them out, and we're able to farm up a little bit over the crab hammer as well. So now this will definitely be taking out the Lickitung, and then what have they got in the back? They've still got their Macargo. Can we just get up to the crab hammer? We do. So this is definitely going to be taking them out. They're double weak to water. Kingler taking out the fire snail with its salty sea brew. So rolling on into the next one against Alolan Pico. Let's see what they've got on the lead for us. It is a Scrafty. So this is pretty good for the Ariados, as we will be resisting the fighting moves due to the poison and bug typing. So is it double resisted? Yeah, I'm sure it is double resisted, so the only thing we need to worry about is the foul plays, but we can just go for some lunges here and debuff them, and then by the end of it, they're not going to be threatening us very much. So they do go for a foul play, and as you can see, it gets us into the yellow, but we're going to be able to outspam them for sure with these lunges. Go for another one, and they decide to shield it up, so that's really interesting, expecting them to swap out, but they don't actually make a swap. Go for another lunge, and at this point, they're going to be so debuffed that another foul play will not be taking us out. Unfortunately, they just lived the lunge by 1 HP, so they will be hitting us with another foul play, and as you can see, we can just survive it, and we managed to actually win the switch and get a shield out of them, so that's brilliant. Now we're just going to come in with the Lickitung against this Shadow Electrode, and it should be able to soak up all of the damage thrown at us by this angry-eyed electric orb. So they go for a discharge, and it does a nice amount of damage, but we should be able to just get up to a body slam before they can throw another move, seeing if they want to shield this up. They don't shield it up, but it doesn't do that much damage to them. They do live it quite sufficiently, so they're going to be able to get to another discharge. We choose to, actually they throw a foul play, and then we make a really interesting swap into Kingler, which is crazy. So we get an energy lead, but it costs us nearly half our health. Let's see what they're going to bring in. Was that a wise call? They come in with a Wigglytuff, so not really. Try to make a catch out when we go for a Crab Hammer, which we should have probably just gone for the bait. If they shield this up, it's going to be game over. They do shield it up. Can we get to another one? We can't. They just take us out before we get to another one. Kingler showing how squishy it is. We realise that 2 body slams isn't even going to be enough against the Wigglytuff, as we are doing no damage at all with our lick. So we just back out and save our opponent some time. Moving on into the next one, and once again we've got a Scrafty on the lead, so we just saw this in the previous battle. We're just going to go for these lunges and debuff them, and we don't even have to worry about the foul plays at all, just making sure they don't sneak any fast moves through. So obviously we can survive this foul play as we saw before, and then they make a swap out into Charizard. So we actually come in with a Lickitung, which is really questionable. You would think we would come in with the Kingler. I'm not really sure why I did this. I think it was just blind panic and I hit the wrong button. But in this situation, it's still a very good matchup for the Lickitung. We will be doing a lot of damage to them with the licks and the body slam. As you can see, we've already got them into the red, and we did correctly shield up a blast burn, but they're probably going to be able to get to another one before we're able to lick them down. But we should just survive it. Yes, we do. And are we able to lick them down? We can, because Charizard is very squishy in the Great League. Scrafty comes back in. We're going to get off 1 body slam. We should have actually just gone for the power whip here, because we're not going to get to another move, and I think we just had enough energy for the power whip, but it doesn't matter. We're now going to come in with Ariados, going to go for a cross poison. We do have back-to-back moves loaded, ready to go. They decide to commit a shield, so now are they going to commit their second shield, because otherwise it would have been a waste? They do actually commit the second shield, so that's really good for us. And now, do we want to let this go down, or do we want to take it out? It will do a lot of damage to the Kingler in the short amount of time that it will be alive, but we're probably not going to be able to mud shot them down, so we do decide to give up our last shield and go for a cross poison. Now we're really hoping whatever's in the back can get decimated by a Crab Hammer, and it's Scizor, so really interesting. They're definitely going to outpace us to a move, but it's no doubt just going to be a Night Slash, which we should just survive. I think that was an Scizor, but it doesn't matter. In any case, we're going to go for a Crab Hammer. Is this going to take out the Scizor? They is squishy. Boom! boom, completely destroys the scissor. Once again, scissor getting obliterated in one of my videos, this time by a delicious crab hammer. Yeah, I'll have that deep fried with some sweet chili dip, please. So rolling on into the next one, we've got another fighter on the lead for the Ariados, which is also very good, but this time it is Medicham, which is part psychic, so they will be able to hit us with super effective, but they do decide to swap out as soon as we hit them with a lunge, which is perfect for me, because now we're just going to go for another lunge against this Druddigan, and surprised they didn't shield it up as it did so much damage to them, and now we catch a Dragon Claw on the Lickitung, and look at that pathetic amount of damage it did to us. Because we've debuffed them, they're not going to be doing a lot of damage to us at all, and we're going to be able to lick them down the whole way. There's no point committing any shields, because we know as soon as we lick this thing into oblivion, the Medicham's going to come back in and promptly punch us out of the game. So we're just going to go for body slam spam here, doing some chip damage to the Medicham once they wait out their switch timer. So let's see how much damage this does to the Medicham. It might actually be able to threaten a shield from them here if they want to keep the Medicham alive, because with ensuing licks, we'll probably be able to take it out with this next body slam. So they do decide to commit a shield, a load of lag, and we're thinking, are they just going to counter us down? But luckily they threw their energy, so that was a saving grace from that lag there. There's nothing worse than when you freeze like that and then suddenly you're countered down. So at this point, we're worried this might be a psychic. We decide to shield it up, and it's actually an ice punch, so really interesting. And they come in with Macargo, so now it's time for the crab to do its thing. This is actually a rock throw Macargo, and as you can see, they've already got us into the yellow, so it shows how much damage this thing's outputting. Oh my god, they're about to take us out, and we're just able to get to the crab hammer before they take us down. Thank Christ for that. So we take out the Macargo, and then our opponent backs out as they know that we've got their number with the Ariados, and Kingler once again dousing opposing fire types in his crab juice and taking the win for us in the Love Cup.
I'll take a crab juice.
So next battle, Talonflame on the lead. Not very good for the Ariados. We make a swap into the Lickitung as this is our soft answer to the Talonflame. We can keep the Kingler in the back for the Talonflame when it swaps out, which it did. It threw a Brave Bird, so we committed our shield knowing that that's what they were going to do. So luckily it did give us a good energy lead for us to threaten the Medicham, and quite surprisingly they threw up their first shield on the first body slam, so that's fine with us. They're going to go for a power up punch, which we will let go through of course, and now we're just going to hope that we can get to a third body slam against the Medicham, which will be threatening them after the licks. Just getting up to a body slam, and they throw their energy in time with us. Going to be taking us out. I would have thought it was power up punch, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. We're going to come in with the Ariados now and look to poison sting them down, which is quite ambitious as poison sting is very, very weak. And we do call a power up punch bait, so that's brilliant for us. We're still going to look to poison sting them down, and now is this one potentially a psychic? We're still going to call that it is the power up punch. I think we were accounting perfectly, and look at that, we've got some juicy farm, and now the Talonflame is going to be threatened by the poison cross poisons, sorry, I might have been calling it poison sting, I really hope not, but we're going for cross poisons, and you can see it does a lot of damage to Talonflame. It's very squishy in the Great League. Now they've given up the last shield, and we make a swap into the Kingler, and of course they're going to go for a Brave Bird here, and we're really worried what is in the back there. Is it going to be something we can take out? Unfortunately it's that Wigglytuff again, and as you can see they're absolutely decimating us, but this time we do have enough energy to get up to a Crab Hammer, which does a ton of damage, and then we're going to get up to another Crab Hammer, but we realise as we throw it that we need to completely undercharge, because that Talonflame will be able to farm us down and then hit a move against the Ariados. So instead we undercharge, come in with the Ariados, get enough energy, more than that, for a cross poison, and we've already seen this will be enough to take out the flying chicken Kentucky Fried get the out of here, you stupid Talonflame. Anyway, into the next one against Solitario Goku, and we've got another Talonflame lead. So yeah, we're going to go straight into the Lickitung once again. This time they're swapping out instantly into a Scrafty, so really, really bad for us. This is worst case scenario. Even with Medicham, at least we can offer that super effective damage with the licks, but they are resisting the licks, so not good for us at all. And we're just going to go for back-to-back body slams. We may go for a body slam and then a power whip, actually, as the power whip will be doing more damage, but we're worried that they could throw another power up punch, so we're just going to get this energy off while we have it. No doubt they're just going to counter us down now, so we're looking in a really bad spot. How are we going to pull out any sort of result from this awkward situation? We come in with the Ariados and choose to use a shield, which is quite surprising, but they have buffed their attack, but I think we probably should just let go through. No doubt they're actually going to get to a second foul play, so we have no choice but to let this one go through anyway. And now what we're going to do, they make a quick swap into Talonflame, so that's not great for us. We come in with the Kingler. with a Kingler, with the Kingler that you're fucking using, you dickhead. So go for a Brave Bird straight away. So we're going to go for the X-Scissor bait, and if they don't shield this up, then we're looking in an absolutely terrible spot, and they've got massive nuts, and they call the bait, so we just back out in disgust. Well played by my opponent there. What a call that was to no shield that X-Scissor there, but they might have had something else that was going to deal with us in the back anyway. But yeah, that was a really terrible battle. I thought I'd include that one. So into the next one, we've got another fire lead, and it was Darmanitan, so props to my opponent for going a bit spicy on that one. I have wanted to use that a little bit myself. They came in with a Wigglytuff, so this is not Wigglytuff, a Clefable. Wigglytuff would be the bad version of this, but this is actually the good version because we're doing some neutral damage with the licks. And they let a second body slam go through, which is complete madness, and without even committing a shield, we managed to win the switch, and we're going to be able to get that Darmanitan aligned to the Kingler, so that's absolutely perfect. And we've got some energy on the Lickitung, so we go for a body slam, which will be doing massive damage to them because they are very frail, and we actually managed to get to a second one. Are they going to commit their second shield? They do, so now we've got 2 Tennille shields, and we've got the switch advantage, so we bring in the Kingler. We are going to shield this up because a Rock Slide will do massive damage to us, so straight away we're going to give up both of our shields. And then we should be able to build up to a Crab Hammer before they get to a move, but they do swap out into their own Kingler, so we're going to make a swap right into Ariados as they go for an X-Scissor, catching this perfectly, not very effective, and now we're just going to build up to a lunge. It looks like this is actually a Bubble Kingler, so they will be charging their energy a little bit slower than our version because the Mudshot is far superior in energy generation, so completely destroy them with a lunge. In comes the Darmanitan, and we're just going to go straight for a Cross Poison, which is going to do tons of damage. It actually takes them out. We didn't even need the Kingler, and the Ariados sweeping in the end there. And that just all came down to winning the switch advantage in that game with the Lickitung. I don't know why they didn't shield up their Wigglytuff. So anyway, not Wigglytuff, it's Clefable, you melt. Into the next one, we've got an Ariados mirror match. And they did actually win CMP tie, it looked like. So we're actually committing a shield there, which is pretty crazy. I'm not sure why I did that. I guess I really just wanted to win switch, but I'm not sure that was the right decision. As you can see, lunge doesn't do a lot of damage at all. But now they will be throwing a resisted lunge into us, so it will be doing less damage. And I think at one point we did sneak in a poison sting, so we are quite ahead in this matchup. Going to go for another lunge now and debuff them. And this is actually quite a long drawn out battle, just simply because the debuffing and the fact that we're not doing much damage to each other with the lunges. But as you can see, we're able to hit back to back now, so they're completely debuffed. They can't be any more debuffed, and then they can swap out into Electrode, which is really interesting. So now we're just going to go for another lunge, and we're going to lower this thing's attack. Everything is having its attack lowered, and obviously that didn't do as much damage as it would because we have been debuffed by multiple stages. So they go for a discharge, and that's taken us out. We didn't actually swap out, we just decided to let it go down, and we're just going to come in with the Lickitung and look to farm up a lot of energy. So this is going to be doing not as much damage as it usually would, as we have lowered their attack, so we're able to farm up comfortably. I guess we could have actually gone for the full farm down, but we decided to throw our energy as late as we can before they get to another discharge, taking them out. Let's see what they want to come in with now. So they come back in with the Ariados, looking to throw a lunge no doubt and debuff us. So we're just going to let this go through, and then we do actually hit the body slam, which is quite questionable. See if they want to shield this up and keep the Ariados alive, which they do, which is quite nuts. And they're just hanging on with 1 HP, so are we going to let this go through? We actually do let it go through. Decide to put all our chips into the Kingler's basket, and it's actually a Slow King in the back, so there is a possibility we could still win this now. So we're just going to go for the X-Scissor spam. This will be doing super effective damage, doing well over half health. Can we get up to 2? We managed to get up to 2 back-to-backs, and I don't think we let through a confusion, so this should definitely be getting a shield out of them. And then we're going to go for another X-Scissor, and we're going to end up taking the win once again with the Claw. Is there something else in the back still? I think they've still got the Ariados, but we're just going to mudshot that down, and we do take the win there. Kingler once again finishing off the Psychic types in the Lud Cup with that spam of the Mudshot and X-Scissor combination. So into the next one, and we had a Crustal on the lead for Ariados, so not very good for them as they'll be smacking us down with super effective rock type damage against us being a bug type. So we swap into the Kingler and they decide to stay here. So we're just going to build up to a potential Crab Hammer and go for the bait, and they do take the bait, so that's great. So we're just going to get up to the Crab Hammer. I'm really hoping they let this go through as we want to win that swap, and they do let it go through. So we absolutely destroyed a Crustal and we won the swap. Oh, and they were not happy with that at all. They bring in the Slowbro and they just leave. So quite a premature exit, but they must have known that the Ariados was going to sweep whatever they had left. It had a good matchup against the Slowbro, so no judgment. So moving on into the next one, we had Druddigan on the lead, and our opponent swapped out into Galarian Slowbro, and we actually made a miss-swap here. We should have swapped into the Lickitung, because obviously we could have done super effective damage against them, and this is only neutral, but they do actually commit both their shields, and we let a confusion through, so we're not going to be able to get up to another move, which is really, really bad. And now we're going to come in with the Lickitung, and we're going to have to shield this up, because now I'm sure that this version of the Slowbro does have access to Focus Blast. So we're shielding it up, thinking that it might be a Focus Blast, and it was actually a Sludge Bomb. And then we thought they possibly baited us, so we committed both our shields, and then they full swapped into the Druddigan. So that's really interesting. We're just going to go for some body slams. This is kind of where we want to see it anyway. Well, the Ariados could deal with it as well, but the Lickitung is just so much more bulkier than the Druddigan that it's going to be able to tank this move a lot more. So we're just going to actually save some energy on the Lickitung, thinking that we probably do need that. That's probably why they swapped out there. So we go for a cross poison, easily taking out the Druddigan, and now they come back in with that Slowbro. So we're just going to go straight for a cross poison against this as well, which will probably be taking it out. No, it is actually resisted, so it doesn't. Are we able to poison this thing down? We can't, so that's really bad. Maybe we should have just gone for the lunge. See what they got in the back. They got a Slowking, so the Slowbro, Slowking duo, and we unfortunately let through a Hex there, but we're able to get through a couple of body slams. Will this be enough to take them out? I don't think it will, judging off the first one. But will we be able to lick them down before they get to a move? We're just getting them down, and they survive with 1 HP, and they get through the move, so that Hex did cost us. They take us out with a Sludge Wave, and that was absolutely heartbreaking, but fair play to my opponent there, and we did make a couple of mistakes in that battle that really did cost us. And moving on into the last battle of the video, we have that Slowking on the lead, so we swapped into Kingler, and they actually bring in Electrode, so that's not great for us. We're just going to go straight for the Crab Hammer here, which will do a lot of damage. It gets them right down into the red. And they did throw the energy. At this point, we got really overconfident and decided to shield this up and thought that we can probably mudshot them down. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to mudshot them down. So we go for the X's to see if they want to win the swap. And they do let it go through, which is a surprise. So we won that swap. And now we're going to be able to bring in the Lickitung against the Slowking and do super effective damage with the Lick. No doubt they're going to be hitting us with probably a Sludge Wave like we saw in the last video. And this will be doing a nice amount of damage. It actually does quite a bit of damage, and then you make a quick swap into Scrafty. So this is actually pretty good for us, although they have that shield advantage. Obviously, we've got the Ariados, which will be resisting the fighting, as we've already said. And they go for Acid Spray rather than the Foul Play. So that was a big call by us. But now we know we're going to have to probably shield up an ensuing Foul Play, as they have debuffed us by 2 stages. We do go for the lunge, so now there's only 1 stage we've got to worry about. And now we're just going to go for a cross poison bait, and they don't shield it up, so that's terrible for us. We should have just gone straight for the lunge. And now we commit our last shield to the Foul Play as well, which I also think is a misplay. We're looking to actually Poison Sting them down, but Scrafty is pretty thick, so we're forced to throw another cross poison, and now the Slowking's going to be able to confusion us down. We should have just gone for a lunge, but we go for the cross poison in hope that we can get to another move. They did get through a confusion, so we make a quick swap into the Lickitung. We're going to go for a body slam now, and this is definitely going to get the last shield out of them. Can we get up to another body slam before they confusion us down? We do, but this will probably not be taking them out. Can we lick them down? They've got 1 HP once again. We're going to come back in with the Ariados, and they get to a move again. 2 games in a row, the Slowking doing it. What a bastard. And that's the last one. You stay angry, trainers. I'll catch you in the next one.